Hello everyone, welcome back to The Last Lap. My name is Jimmy, and in today's episode we're going to be recapping all the action from Daytona, including qualifying, the duels, the truck race, the Xfinity race, the cup race, everything that happened throughout speed weeks. We are going to update you guys on it. But before we hop into it, just want to remind you guys to hit that like button and that subscribe button. It really does go a long way, helps our channel grow. Yeah, also, sorry that this video is coming out a day late. I had some schoolwork and stuff to do the night after the Daytona 500 was over, so we weren't able to record, so sorry about that. But we're getting it out to you as soon as we can. So we'll start very quickly with qualifying and the duels. I'll get kind of your opinion of that right after I'm done. So let's see. Qualifying. As we expected, 200 Motorsports cars got the pole, the front row. Kyle Larson got his first Daytona 500 pole, and Alex Bowman got his fifth consecutive front row start, which I believe ties him for the record. I don't think he broke the record, but he tied the record. Jacques Villeneuve and Noah Gragson ended up making it in the race on speed, so that was great for them. And for the duels on Thursday, it was a RFK sweep. Brad Keselowski won the first duel, and Kaz Grala was able to advance after going 2 or 3 laps down. He was able to make a last lap pass on the transfer spot that he needed to make it into the 500, so that was great for him to make it. And in the second duel, Joey Logano threw a bad block, which he is obviously known for doing, and ended up wrecking himself and getting Harrison Burton involved in that as well. But Chris Buescher ended up winning that duel, so RFK Racing made a statement right off the bat. So Matthew, what do you have to quickly say about the qualifying, which we kind of expected, and then what do you have to say about the duel races as well?
Well, for the qualifying, I mean, Hendrick always tries hard on these qualifying races, and I predicted it would be a Hendrick front row, so there was no surprise there. And as for the dual races, there was no surprise either. That course is really tame, so single file line for most of the time. But I did not expect both Roush cars to sweep the duels, which was definitely great to see. That program basically having a little bit of a rejuvenation here to start the season on after a few mediocre years, so it's great to see them get back on track. The second duel was interesting, with Joey Logano wrecking himself basically, as he had the lead until he basically threw a bad block and wrecked himself and his sort of teammate Harrison Burton. So that was a dumb move by him, to be honest. Especially in media day, like the day before, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna race aggressive, no matter how many next gen cars we have built, or if we don't have a lot of next gen cars." And he ends up wrecking himself. So that's Joe Logano, man. But at least he admitted it, that it was his fault. So it's all good here and there. It was great to see Kaz Grala and the money team and Greg Biffle and NY Racing making in for the duels. I prefer them over the MBM cars that were also in there. No offense to Timmy Hill, of course, and JG Haley, but MBM is not one of those teams that wants to build for the future. They just care about making the money and going home. That's it. They don't care about getting better like some of these other teams that enter in are trying to do. So I'm glad those two MBM cars got out. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, MBM is about to be the next Rick Rare Racing at this rate, according to how they ran in the duels. They were not running too well in the duels. But hopping into the truck and Xfinity race, the truck race came down. It was Zane Smith was leading, and there was a big wreck coming to the white flag. And I kid you not, how close he was to taking the white flag when the caution lights came on. It was, so the word Daytona is on the front stretch wall. It was like the O in Daytona. It was probably 100 feet or less that Zane Smith was this close to winning the truck race at Daytona, but the caution came out. There are a bunch of memes of how quick the race control guy had his hand on the button. He must have had it right over the button, and as soon as they wrecked, he went boom and just lit that thing up, and they ended up having to do a green-white checker finish. But Zane Smith would get redemption. He would actually end up winning the race 2 on the green-white checker finish. That was good for him that he deserved the win after being robbed by just a few feet. So that was good for him to able to get the win there. Xfinity Race, big crash in this race. Myatt Snyder went up in the fence and tore it up pretty good. His car got backwards kind of and got pushed up into the air. The back of the car hit the fence and then spun around, and the nose of the car hit the fence, knocked the engine completely out of the car, and a bunch of other important necessities of the car as well. Thankfully, he was okay. In his interview, he said his foot was a little bit sore and he might need to get reevaluated for that. But other than that, he was okay, which is very good news. Michael Jordan and Bubba Wallace, apparently they were right there when the accident happened, because part of his car ended up in, I'm assuming it's Michael Jordan's trailer or bus or RV that he had parked back there, and then he put a picture of it on Twitter, and it was crazy. I'm glad. Hopefully, I don't know if they were on the ground right when it happened or if they were in the RV, on top of the RV or whatever, but I'm glad that they didn't get hurt with all that flying debris going on back there. So that was a little bit of a scare. Austin Hill was in front of AJ Allmendinger when the caution came out, and Austin Hill would get the win. His first win in the Xfinity Series for Richard Childress Racing, rookie in the series. So, I mean, I expected Austin Hill to have a great season. He's already started that off with a win. Great move for him, jumping up to the Xfinity Series, paired up with Sheldon Creed at RCR. I think those two are going to be great all season long. AJ Allmendinger just a little bit short of getting that win at Daytona, but just didn't. Wrong place, wrong time. That's just how the cautions fall at these super speedway races. But Matthew, what do you have to say about the Truck and Xfinity race before we hop into the main race of the weekend?
Well, as for the truck race, this race was pretty tame for the most part. It's just by having a bunch of young drivers. You would think it'd be a lot of wrecks, but it was actually pretty tame for the most part until the last couple laps, in which it was the pile up before Zane Smith took the white flag, and then another wreck under caution, which I don't really agree with. That's a caution in my opinion, because the truck race before at Talladega last year, there was a big pile up on the last lap, and there was no caution thrown for that. So that kind of doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. I'm happy for Zane Smith. I'm also happy for Front Row Motorsports. Front Row Motorsports is mostly known for being a Cup team, and now they've got a couple of truck wins in the lower series. So it's great to see that team at least thrive in the lower series. And it'd be cool to see more lower end Cup teams like fielding like Xfinity or truck teams, because I feel like they could be really competitive in those series. Maybe Spire was just doing that Daytona, this Daytona race. So it was great to see Spire in the trucks now, and maybe we'll see another lower end Cup team do the same thing, like Rig Rare Racing or what's another team? I don't know. I can't think on top of my head. But congratulations to Zane Smith, and I think he's going to be great this season. As for the Xfinity race, now that was a crazy one for sure, especially on the last lap. I have no idea how Mike Snyder was able to walk out of that car almost fine, basically, after the ride he took. It was like Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson all over again. And I mean, that's the safety of these cars. It's amazing to see how well built these chassis are, how stronger the catch fences are, how that Hans device always protects the head and neck, and it's amazing to see him walk out of that car basically, especially seeing the aftermath of what that car looks like. And Austin Hill winning, that's great for him. This is his first year in Xfinity full time, and he already got his first career win. So that's great for Austin Hill, and I'm looking forward to see how he does the rest of the season as well. And I forgot. And also, of course, that was crazy. Of all the people that could be camping on that exact spot where Mike Snyder flew to the fence, of course it had to be Michael Jordan. I mean, that's just crazy. I know that's probably an experience he'll never forget for the rest of his life there. I I mean, I don't think he's seen anything like that ever.
Yeah, that was wild that happened right in front of Michael Jordan and Bubba Wallace. But yeah, Bubba showed a picture of the fence, and it was pretty destroyed. Like, they had to do a lot of work to that fence overnight to get it back to the way it should have been. But transitioning into the main event, the Daytona 500. The first stage was a little weird, to say the least, because two drivers lost the wheel in almost the same part of the track coming off of turn two. So first, Kaz Grala, basically the whole tire fell off the car. Basically, I believe it was because a pit crew member didn't put the one lug nut on, and I'm like, dude, like, you had one job. You only had to get one lug nut tight, and you did not get it tight. That appears to be what happened, and apparently they reported on air that could be up to a 4-race suspension for, I believe it was the crew chief and a few crew members. So that'll be a pretty hefty penalty for Kaz Grala on that team, even though they're part-time. So it'll be interesting to see if NASCAR ends up bringing the hammer down on that penalty or not. And Justin Haley lost a tire too, but it seemed like that was more of a defect from Goodyear on that. It didn't seem like the whole wheel didn't come off. It was like the wheel had some type of issue and broke, and I don't even know. It was weird, to say the least. But yeah, that was an interesting start to stage one, and the end of stage one was a little bit controversial because Brad Keselowski was pushing Harrison Burton coming off of turn two, hit him in a little bit of the wrong spot, got him sideways, pushed him into William Byron, sent Byron down to the inside wall. He had a pretty hard hit to the inside wall nose first. Kyle Busch was involved. He was able to drive away. Dan Hamlin was involved. A few other drivers as well. Chastain, I believe, was also in it. That would end the first stage. Martin Truex Jr. would win that and the second stage. So a good start for Truex to get those 2 early playoff points and 20 normal points as well. In stage 3, there was a caution with around 49 laps to go, involving Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex Jr., and Joey Logano. And then another big crash with 10 laps to go. Kyle Larson hit Kevin Harvick, and Harvick got into, I forgot who it was. Harvick ran into somebody, and then that set off another big one, and those were the 2 main names that were knocked out of the race. Larson was actually running pretty good. I was kind of surprised to see him up there. Him and Chase Elliott were pretty much the only 2 Hendrick drivers left at that point. But yeah, I was surprised how well Larson was running. Unfortunately, he got involved in a wreck. There was another wreck involving Brad Keselowski. He spun Ricky Stenhouse Jr. this time, coming off of turn 4. Similar, almost the exact same wreck. Brad just hit Stenhouse coming off of the corner. Stenhouse, his car couldn't handle it, sent him around. Got several other drivers involved. Kyle Busch barely missed that wreck. I didn't even notice that until I saw the replay and until you told me about it. But yeah, it was a very close break for Kyle Busch there, but unfortunate for Ricky Stenhouse. He had some choice words for Brad Keselowski when he got interviewed, which is quite funny because I think Stenhouse. I think Stenhouse does the same thing every now and then, or at least he used to, and he was known for that. So it's a little suspicious for Stenhouse to be saying something like that. But anyways, that set up a green-white checker finish. At this point in the race, the Fords have been strong the entire race. Austin Cindric has been up there. Brad Keselowski's been up there. Before Harrison Burton got wrecked, he was up there. Ryan Blaney was up there. Michael McDowell, he was up at the front in the top 5, top 10 all day. The Fords were clearly the cars to beat heading into the race. And the final green-white checker restart was Cindric chose the outside lane. Blaney was on the inside. Bubba Wallace was behind Ryan Blaney, and Brad Keselowski was behind Austin Cindric. And Cindric and Blaney worked together to where Cindric dropped down in front of Blaney, and the 2 of them were pretty much controlling the field at that point. And coming out of turn 4, Ryan Blaney made a move to try and pass his teammate, which I was a little bit surprised. I didn't think that Blaney would pull out of line, but he tried to pull out of line. Chase Briscoe made a move on Brad Keselowski. They got all crazy. They were 3 wide all over the track. Cindric shoved Blaney into the wall, and then Cindric came back down the track and hit Bubba Wallace, who was on the inside of Cindric, trying to beat him there. And Austin Cindric barely wins the Daytona 500, his first career win as a rookie too. It's not his first start because he ran a few races last year, but his first full-time NASCAR Cup Series start in his rookie season, his first full-time, obviously, season. So great for him. That was a crazy finish. I'm excited for him. In our predictions video, not our Daytona 500 predictions, but our season predictions, I predicted he would win multiple races, and he's already off to a good start for that. A lot of talent. He's matured a lot over the past few years. Won the Xfinity Championship in 2020. Almost went back-to-back last year. I think he's definitely earned his spot right here at Penske Racing in this car, and I hope to see a lot of him in the future. So great start for him in his career, and yeah, I can't wait to see what else he does. So Matthew, what do you have to say about the Daytona 500?
Well, overall, I think this was a great Daytona 500. It was way better than I expected to be, which I'll explain a little bit more about then once we rank this race. But overall, congratulations to Austin Cindric. His first career win in his 8th Cup start. This is his rookie year full-time, and he has won the Daytona 500 already, which was amazing to see. And I predicted that he would win a race, but I thought it was going to be at a road course, not the Daytona 500. So this surprised me. So that's great to see that. And I feel like it fits perfect for basically a next-gen driver to win the first next-gen race, in my opinion. I think it fits just right. And it's just great to see, these young drivers winning more than like some of the older veterans that we be accustomed to seeing. Get some new faces at victory lane. But besides that, I feel so bad for Bubba Wallace though. He was so close to winning the Daytona 500. I thought he had the run there, but I know he had a little damage, so that probably affected a little bit. But I think Bubba just needed just one more second of Cindric trying to block his teammate, and maybe he could have gotten it. But it's still a great run for Bubba Wallace, second place. But let me travel back a little bit in the beginning with the whole wheel, a couple cars losing wheels. I mean, for these pit crews, it's a whole new process. They used to do 5 lug nuts for like 30, 40, 50 years, almost the whole time NASCAR's been alive, and now they have these single wheel locks. So this is a whole new process. This is really like the first race when they actually have pressure to make sure to get these pit stops right. And I guess a couple of teams just haven't gotten the get-go with a couple wheels getting off. And I think I knew it was going to take a little bit to get used to. I think it's going to just, over time, I think they'll start getting used to it, and we won't really see this problem often. I think it's just, the problem with these is mostly just because the pit crews are just not used to this new process. So I think that's why, in my opinion. The end of stage 1. Stage 1 in general, I thought it was going to be a tame single file line, but it was double wide most of the time. And then the end of stage 1, Brad Keselowski, and we're going to hear this name a lot today, turned Harrison Burton, and what surprised me is we already have our first next gen flip basically with Harrison Burton going up and over, and that car was able to handle it real well, and he was fine. But I was surprised to see that car flip, actually, especially with NASCAR recently lowering the horsepower of super speedways with like the flap on the diffuser they have with these new diffusers. And I thought these cars would stay on the ground, but I guess not. So, well, I guess Atlanta, Talladega, we're gonna see these cars going 150 now. But in all seriousness, no. It was great to see Harrison Burton get out, and as we get to stage 2, that one was the tamest part of the race. They were single file most of the time, which it was fine by me. I mean, we just had a big wreck and was to settle in a little bit. I think it was fine. The third stage is when things picked up back a little bit more. We saw a couple more wrecks with Tyler Reddick, and then with Harvick and Gregson getting together, and then Stenhouse. Here's the thing, Keselowski this race, he was an absolute bulldozer like Ty Dillon was at the Clash. I mean, he was doing his best Ricky Stenhouse impression from like 2018, in which he was causing all the wrecks. I mean, I feel like that's kind of uncharacteristic of Brad Keselowski. I mean, he's an expert in these super speedways. He's won so many of these things, and I didn't expect him to be over aggressive to the point that he's basically turning people. So that's a little out of character from Brad, in my opinion. And we'll see if he continues to do that in the other super speedways. Let's see. So one problem that I saw with there's like really two problems. The first problem was the pre-race concert. That almost made me fall asleep, in my opinion. I'm sorry. That compared to the Clash, this made me fall asleep. I know they only play like one song. I'm sure this singer played like 3-4 songs, which we didn't see on TV. I don't know if those were better, but the song that they did play on TV, that had me falling asleep. So that's just my opinion. And my second problem is with the flat bottom of these cars now, whenever you blow a tire, you're basically stuck. So the NASCAR might have to make a little adjustment, maybe with the suspension, maybe get these cars just a teeny bit higher. I mean, maybe just high enough for like if you blow a tire, not like completely stuck on the road. So that's one issue I noticed. But other than that, it was a great race. I'm happy for Austin Cindric. I can't wait to see how he does the rest of the season. And great Daytona 500 overall.
Yeah, that was cool to see Austin Cindric get the win. It was Roger Penske's birthday too, so happy birthday to Roger Penske. I guess it's a good thing I didn't watch the pre-race concert because I was on my way to my friend's house, and I guess it's a good thing I didn't see that concert. So another problem I had with, I guess it was the broadcast in general, was
I forgot to talk about
too many commercials. Yeah, too many commercials, and like there were points in the race where I forgot which caution it was, but like the caution came out right after they went to commercial, and they didn't like interrupt it and bring it back, and I'm like, really? Like the caution came out right after they went to commercial and they didn't do anything about it? And yeah, the broadcast in general was not that good. But you know, it is what it is, I guess. So
let me talk about this because I forgot to say about this. While the first two races so far have been absolutely great on the track, when you're watching the TV, it has been an absolute disaster because there's nothing wrong with the commentary. I mean, Mike Joy, Clint Boyer, Tony Stewart, these two races have been great. The problem is if the camera crew and the people who are in charge of like transitions to different cameras or commercials, they need to fire everybody on that department because these first two races have been absolutely ridiculous. With the absolute bad camera angles, like that first big one, we didn't even know Harrison Burton flipped over until Clint Boyer said something. I'm like, wait, what? Because these camera crews decide things a good idea to show someone's splitter camera, which the only thing you saw was someone's bumper, and then they pan out to someone hitting the inside wall, which that was still a hard hit by Byron, but I mean, we didn't even know someone flipped over until Clint Boyer said something. So that drove me nuts. And then there was another wreck that happened. Do you know what they did during the wreck? They were showing a Busch Light commercial. And that didn't make any sense. Come on. I mean, I get you gotta get your commercials in. You're making a lot of money by putting these advertisements on, but it gets ridiculous when it's like every 3 minutes you're going full on commercials. So I'm really hoping when this new TV deal is signed for, that's a couple years till now, they make a new agreement about these commercials because it's getting really out of hand. And this isn't the 70s when people are fine with commercials. This is 2022 when people have a short attention span. If you're getting a bunch of commercials, you're just tuning everybody out. So they need to fix that. They need to fix the absolute bad camera transitions. And yeah, I mean, I feel like ESPN could have done a better race coverage than that. And ESPN is not really the best when it comes to good TV coverage besides the commentary. I mean, Alan Bestwick, arguably one of the best NASCAR commentators. But yeah, that I have to put that out there. Bad TV coverage. But I feel happy for all those fans that went there. You got a way better experience.
I couldn't say it better myself. Yeah, that was a good analysis there of the TV coverage. Yeah, it wasn't the broadcasting at all. Tony Stewart, Mike Julian, and Clint Boyer were great. It's just the, technical and behind-the-scenes things that were not up to par like they should be, unfortunately. But hopefully that gets fixed over the next few races, and we're not complaining too much about the broadcast. But back to the whole next-gen card thing. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the tires, too, because Austin Cindric did his burnout, and the tires blew like that. I'm like, well, there's just so little tread on the tires. I'm like, this is going to be every week. A driver's going to do a burnout, and his car's going to be stuck on the front stretch because there's no rubber on the tire. There's barely any tire there, so...
Make a good race version.
It would, but, Lionel's not going to put their blown tires on there because they went out there and had to change the tires. But, anyways... Yeah, I completely forgot to say that Harrison Burton's car flipped, but yeah, that was pretty much the major point of the race. Yeah, I'm glad he's okay, and the next-gen car did its job. Well, as far as keeping him safe is concerned, it didn't really do its job of keeping the car on the ground, like NASCAR was pushing that, the rear diffuser is has a flap on it or whatever that'll keep the car on the ground. Well, that didn't work, so... I'm sure the NASCAR and the teams are a little bit anxious to see what happened there. I'm sure they'll get some research and everything on the car, and hopefully they can make some proper changes so that doesn't happen again. But yeah, I think that's about it for...
I mean, it's going to happen again. You can't eliminate someone flipping over in a super speedway. It's just pure physics.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get rid of physics like that.
It'll happen again, but, I'm sure NASCAR and the teams want to look at it and see what they could do to do better, because I'm sure they didn't expect a car to flip the first race it debuted.
I wouldn't say anything like that if I were you. I wouldn't say anything like that if I were you, because they're going to go 150 next time we go on a super speedway.
Alright, so very quickly I'm going to go over the top 10. I have that right. I thought I had it right here. 1 second. Daytona 500 results. Come on, NASCAR.com. Okay.
This is only a half an hour show.
Oh, I know. Okay. Austin Cindric got the win. Bubba Wallace finished second. Chase Briscoe third. Ryan Blaney fourth. Eric Almirola fifth. The Fords, man. The Fords. 4 Fords in the top 5. Kyle Busch sixth. Great comeback for him. Michael McDowell seventh. David Reagan eighth. A Rick Ware car finished in the top 10. Good for them. Brad Keselowski ninth. And Chase Elliott 10th. So that's the top 10 right there. Honestly, not too much to say except just straight up Ford dominance. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Fords in the top 10. That was the gist of the whole day right there. Let's bounce over to our fantasy standings really quick. If you guys do not know, we have a new fantasy thing. It's on the official NASCAR.com website, our NASCAR app. Our league is called The Last Lap if you guys want to join. It's pretty fun. The first week, I came out with 206 points, and you came out with 170, so great start for me. I know it's a long season ahead, but I mean, I'll take any lead I can get at this point. So it's really fun about this whole new fantasy thing. So go ahead and say what you think about the new fantasy thing, because I know you were quite vocal about how things were handled last year. Do you think this is equal enough for you?
Well, I'd rather just go ahead and start rating this race now, because this is only a half an hour show. Keep that in mind. We don't want to bore everybody here. So, for me, this race exceeded my expectations. I thought this race was going to be really tame, and single file line. But they went out the gate double wide racing for the first stage, a little bit tame the second stage, and then double wide, almost 3 wide on the last stage. So this was everything I wanted. I could possibly want in a Daytona 500. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was an amazing race, a great way to debut the next gen car.
Yeah, I'm gonna quote Eric Estep here. He said that it was a predictable Daytona 500, but in a good way. So, like, you got your side-by-side racing. They went single file for a little bit. There were quite a few crashes. There was a good finish, a close finish. So, like, that's everything that people could want in a Daytona 500, and that's what we got. So I think it was a very solid debut for the next-gen car as well. A few little things that could be adjusted here and there. But I'll go 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it was a great Daytona 500. I'm looking forward to the rest of the Super Speedway races this season to see what else they could do. I liked the package. The package was good. The runs weren't too aggressive. We didn't see too many crazy blocks, except for, Logano in the duel. But, yeah, I thought it was a great race. The package is good. The next-gen car is good. And, yeah. So, do you have any other closing thoughts before I go ahead and wrap it up? Sorry, I know we're taking a little bit longer, guys. It's the Daytona 500. We gotta talk about the 500 as much as possible, beginning of the race of the year. But go ahead and wrap it up for us.
Well, I think I said all I could say on this video. Great race. Other than the absolute horrible coverage on TV. It was a great race overall.
Alright, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's a little bit of a longer video, but we hope you guys did enjoy it. Daytona 500, the official NASCAR season is underway. Austin Cindric got his first win in his rookie season. Great for him. Congratulations to him, Team Penske, all of them over there. Force completely ran the show all weekend long, and it's good to see one end up in victory lane. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys in our next one.